What if the man holding the keys to your entire life savings vanished? What if he died and took your fortune with him into the grave? This isn't a hypothetical. This is the true story of Gerald Cotten, the young, charismatic CEO of Canada's biggest cryptocurrency exchange, QuadrigaCX, a man whose mysterious death in a far-off land left over 76,000 investors staring into an abyss, their combined $215 million gone. Was it a tragic accident, a grand exit scam, or something far more sinister? In 2013, as the world was just beginning to grasp the concept of digital currency, Gerald Cotten and Michael Patron co-founded QuadrigaCX. By 2014, their online exchange was live, and it quickly became Canada's largest gateway to the burgeoning crypto universe. For many, QuadrigaCX was not just a platform. It was a promise of financial freedom, of easy access to the next big thing. It was where ordinary people like Ali Musavi poured their hard-earned money, eager to get a piece of the future. Ali, like tens of thousands of others, saw QuadrigaCX as a trusted digital bank, a place where his digital assets were safe, growing, and always accessible. Little did they know, behind the sleek interface and the promise of innovation lay a dangerous secret. QuadrigaCX exploded. The allure of cryptocurrency was undeniable, and Cotten positioned his exchange as the easiest, most reliable way for Canadians to jump in. He was the face of the company, the sole director, projecting an image of youthful success and expertise. Investors flocked to the platform, trusting Cotten with their life savings, retirement funds, and dreams of wealth. The money flowed in, millions, then hundreds of millions. But what no one outside a very small circle understood was that Cotten operated QuadrigaCX with virtually no oversight, no internal controls, no one to challenge his decisions. Every single customer deposit, every single withdrawal, every single password to the company's supposedly secure cold wallets, it all rested in the hands of one man with absolute power over an empire built on digital trust, a trust that was about to be shattered. So, how did a company that was seemingly so successful, so trusted, become a black hole? The truth, as uncovered by the Ontario Securities Commission, was shockingly simple, yet devastatingly complex in its execution. QuadrigaCX wasn't just a crypto exchange. It was, in the OSC's words, an old-fashioned fraud wrapped in modern technology. A large-scale Ponzi scheme orchestrated by Gerald Cotten himself. He didn't segregate client assets. All deposits were pooled together. Then, Cotten did something truly insidious. He created fictitious accounts, using aliases like R2-D2 and C3PO, yes, like the Star Wars droids, to credit himself with fake currency. He then used these fake assets to trade against his own unsuspecting clients on the QuadrigaCX platform, racking up massive profits while clients lost real money. And these fraudulent trades, or his external gambling on other platforms, resulted in losses to the tune of $115 million in fraudulent trading and another $28 million lost externally. Cotten simply covered the shortfall with new client deposits, a classic Ponzi move. And while this elaborate charade unfolded, Cotten was siphoning off millions of client funds to finance a lavish lifestyle. Private jets, luxury yachts, high-end vehicles, even setting up a $100,000 trust fund for his 2 chihuahuas in his will. But the deepest secret, the most shocking revelation, was yet to come. By 2018, the cracks in Cotten's elaborate facade were becoming impossible to ignore. Customers began reporting increasing, frustrating delays. Weeks turned into months. Ali Musavi, who had invested 71,000 Canadian dollars, remembers the escalating anxiety. I kept asking them, where's my money? October, November, December, during all that time. They kept saying it was the lawsuit. I just prayed. These weren't isolated incidents. They were systemic. The inflow of new money simply couldn't keep pace with the growing flood of withdrawal requests, a telltale sign of a Ponzi scheme unraveling. And then, a peculiar detail emerged. On November 27th, 2018, just 12 days before his alleged death, Gerald Cotten signed his will, leaving his entire $9.6 million Canadian dollar estate to his wife. A strange coincidence? Or a meticulously planned final act? On January 14th, 2019, the crypto world was rocked by a public announcement from QuadrigaCX. Gerald Cotten, their 30-year-old CEO, had allegedly died on December 9th, 2018, in Jaipur, India, from complications related to Crohn's disease. The official story was devastating. Cotten alone held the passwords to the company's cold wallets, containing approximately $250 million in client funds. With his death, these funds were supposedly lost forever, locked away behind an impenetrable digital wall. The narrative was tragic, almost cinematic, but investigators quickly found holes in this carefully constructed story. As Ernst & Young, the court-appointed monitor, began its work, a chilling truth emerged in March 2019. The identified cold wallets, the very wallets supposedly holding the vast majority of client funds, were found to be empty. Not just depleted, but empty months before Cotten's alleged death. The money wasn't locked away. It was gone. The lost password story was a convenient smokescreen. Lawyers for the affected customers, desperate for answers, later petitioned the RCMP to exhume Cotten's body to confirm his death and identity. The official conclusion from the Ontario Securities Commission in June 2020 was unambiguous. QuadrigaCX was a fraud and a Ponzi scheme orchestrated by Gerald Cotten. For the 76,000 clients affected by QuadrigaCX's collapse, the revelation wasn't closure. It was a new kind of pain. They weren't just victims of a technical glitch. They were victims of a ruthless con. The total liabilities owed to clients stood at a staggering 215 million Canadian dollars, with an asset shortfall of 169 million Canadian dollars. Imagine Ali Mousavi, who lost 71,000 Canadian dollars. That wasn't just a number. It was years of savings, potentially his future. Thousands of others lost their retirement funds, their down payments for homes, their children's college savings. The unregulated nature of the cryptocurrency industry at the time meant little recourse, leaving these ordinary people in a state of desperation and helplessness. While Cotten enjoyed his ill-gotten gains, his victims were left with nothing but shattered dreams and crippling financial ruin. Even after QuadrigaCX went into bankruptcy, a final, almost mocking twist occurred. An inadvertent transfer of 104 Bitcoin, worth over 460,000 Canadian dollars at the time, was made to an inaccessible cold wallet, a stark reminder of the chaos and incompetence that defined the exchange. Cotten's widow, Jennifer Robertson, eventually forfeited 12 million Canadian dollars in assets to the trustee. But for the vast majority of victims, it was a fraction of what they had lost. The story of QuadrigaCX is more than a cautionary tale of crypto's Wild West. It's a stark reminder that even in the most cutting-edge industries, the oldest forms of fraud can thrive when trust is blind and oversight is absent. Gerald Cotten, the digital age Madoff, exploited the hype and the lack of regulation to build a personal fortune on them, backs of thousands of unsuspecting investors. The true fate of Gerald Cotten remains a subject of debate for some, with the unanswered question of exhumation still lingering. But the fate of QuadrigaCX's victims is tragically clear. Their money, their trust, and a piece of their future were lost, swallowed by a scheme that promised innovation but delivered only deception. As the world of digital finance continues to evolve, the ghost of QuadrigaCX serves as a potent warning. Always question, always verify, and never place absolute trust in a single, unchecked individual. No matter how bright their digital empire may seem, stay vigilant, because in the world of finance, some collapses are far more than just bad investments. They are meticulously crafted betrayals. If you're curious about other financial collapses and the masterminds behind them, make sure to subscribe to the Collapse Files.